So I'm gonna run around and do all the necessary updates, post all the places, and then we'll be back. So if you're watching this, should probably dual screen this or some shit so I can actually see the chat and all that fun stuff. Okay. I'm gonna sneeze. This is not good. Or I could just do that. That works too. So yeah, if you're joining the chat right now, hoping that it works. I can see myself, which is nice. So yeah, I'm gonna be cross-posting. Tweeted. Oh no, there we are. Now it's tweeted and I need to post in the Pen Addict Slack. And I also need to post. Oh no, Brian Goulet crashed the pen show meetup. That's the other thing I want to do. In case anyone's watching, I'll just throw shit up. Oh, I need to open Discord and post there too. And I should probably post to Instagram. At least in the stories. This is very exciting watching me post places, isn't it? Yay! Story. Ah. Come join the dancing extreme DC pen. Yo, Rebel, I am currently posting to the Instagrams. DC, Internet, Peanut. This is so exciting. Hello, ML. Twitch. I'm posting to all the social medias, so bear with me. There we are. Posted on Instagram. Cool. I'm glad the email notifications actually work, because Twitch and YouTube both do not like to notify me that my stuff happens. Or that stuff is happening. But, oh, we can throw up here. I'm gonna minimize this. I'm trying a new sort of layout. But we've got, so what I'm gonna do here is, I've got wine. This is a $4 red wine. I've got a box that needs unboxing. I've got an ink that I got for my birthday yesterday. I've got a whole bunch of ink review stuff to do. Just sort of doing all of it. We're just gonna hang out, chill. For those of us who aren't at DC, if you see something fun that looks like it's happening at DC, shoot me a link or something. I can throw it up on the screen. We can look at it, dissect the ridiculous photos. This is just a chill hangout period. Huh. See, I mean, in theory, I have all those notifications set up. They just never get sent. I don't know what happens. So, yeah, no, I have a $3 white wine. This is surprisingly good for a $4 wine. I think it's because it's like a table wine from Italy. I got it from the farmer's market that has a bunch of like cheap wine. They have a lot of imports that don't necessarily make it to all the other wine shops, or they're for the people that know that you can get good wine for cheap. I've never spent more than €3 on a bottle of wine when in Europe, and it's all amazing. So this is kind of the equivalent. But yeah, I should actually pour myself some. I didn't get as shit-faced drunk as I expected yesterday for my birthday, because I was really tired from the previous few days of running around and doing lots of errands. So I just mainly slept yesterday. So shit-faced drunk today, sure, why not? Happy day late birthday to me. What was I gonna do? I was gonna throw up. See, even when I've turned on notifications for people, the app will sometimes notify me. I've turned on email notifications and they have not notified me. So we're gonna do, okay, window capture is appropriate. Oh, that's a tiny window capture. There we are. So looks like Brian Goulet crashed. The DC Pen Show they were doing a DC Pen Crew meetup, and Brian Goulet was just like, I'm a join. This looks fun. Which doesn't surprise me, and does surprise me for Brian Goulet, because what I saw from him in Atlanta was that he's very capable of being on and like performing extrovert, but he's probably actually an introvert that had a mini shutdown. Oh, thank you. That like by the end of the day was definitely having a mini shutdown. You know what I want to do? I'm going to be clicking buttons real here and messing with the screen. Okay, cool. So I can just switch that over real quickly. And that makes it very easy for me to, like, you can still see my face, but then also, sorry, I need the contrast here. Stuff got out of alignment. So you can still see my face, but then we can look at the things. But yeah, he seemed to be very good at performing extroversion. Not so much like, he had like a meltdown at the end of the day and was just like clinging to Drew. Like, please, friend I know, I'm very done dealing with people. And so, I don't know if he just does that as part of marketing. But yeah. So yeah, I forgot I had these different like scenes set up, like fancy technology. But yeah, so that looks fun. And we see like a fig boot over here. Oh, you can't see my cursor. Oh well. But yeah, you got a fig boot over in the corner. That looks like he's talking to Rachel. But yeah. So let's see, is anything else going on at DC? It's interesting because like for the whole morning it seemed like there was not a lot of posting going on, and then all of a sudden people went to lunch and came back, I guess, and were like, refresh. We're gonna be going for it. I don't know. Any other shenanigans going on that we should throw up on the screen? Other than that, there we go. I'm going to throw that back over there. Cool. Other than that, I am gonna I'm gonna mess with running commands. Look, my bot worked. I got a bot. It's very exciting. You know what I should do? I should set it to say, like, for people joining. Sorry, I'm setting up a command so that way it reminds people, like, are you drinking? Like, just like, hey, welcome. What are you... No. Mm-hmm. There's all this extra stuff. Timer. Oh no, I gotta create timers and shit. This is very exciting, isn't it? Yay! Yeah. This is what happens when I'm like, I can mess with things. Like... while they're happening, right? I don't know if I have a command or if I have it set. Let's see. Save. Okay, and now where are my commands? Save. Cool. Yay! Now let's see if this worked. Yay! I can technology, sort of. Isn't this exciting? Yep, so cool. We'll get to unboxing then. I'm not quite sure. I haven't done an unboxing thing on live, but this is my elemental notebooks. I'm not sure if I'm gonna move my wine glass because my area that I'm working with my desk is precariously small and I don't want to spill wine all over electronics. Usually a good move to not spill wine all over electronics. I might angle down the webcam just a bit so you can watch me open it, or you could stare at my boobs. That works too. I don't have two webcams, so you can't like watch my face while I open it. That's good enough, right? Yeah, there we are. Bum, bum, bum. So I have this nice letter opener that I got from my grandma when I started college because I like writing letters. And she was like, yeah, let me get you a thing so you can let me outfit you with letter writing stuff because she also likes letters. My grandma is basically my biggest pen pal. Yeah, no, I am also clumsy and prone to spilling things anyway. But yeah, but first, look at this box. It has like little drawings of all this science stuff on it. Like, dude, Elemental Notebooks did a good job. I just appreciate it tremendously. You can kind of see my address, but that's fine. My address is posted all over the place anyway. Hell, you can find my apartment by just looking for the Wi-Fi network, and the Wi-Fi network, my Wi-Fi network is Bijou 3 Owl, so if you want to internet stalk me, just look until you find the Wi-Fi network in Atlanta. Very not subtle. There we are. I'm very confused. Not because there's a box, but there's a pack of pocket notebooks that I did not order the pocket notebooks. I'm just gonna like, maybe I'll go back up here now that everything's good. So yeah, we've got the pocket notebooks, so the unobtainium. Actually, let's flip this around so you can read this. There we are. Yeah, no, it's very quick and easy to do, but so, I didn't order any pocket notebooks, so I'm a little confused. So, let's see, we got that. Carbon, oh, okay, I did order the carbon. My order was for 3 notebooks, so I ordered the carbon, the nitrogen, and the oxygen. Yeah, no, that's because there's plastic covering on it, so it's gonna reflect no matter what. When I take the covering off, you'll see. But yeah, this is nice, and it's like basically the thing. So now I'm confused because there's a hydrogen in this box, and I did not order the hydrogen. Sure. Maybe this is because we did have him on BYOB, and that was a big marketing boost for him. Honestly, we just squeed about it the whole time, pretty much the whole episode. I did a lot of the squeeing, but it definitely pushed up the like presence of these notebooks and probably gave them a big boost. So maybe, because I heard that Jim also opened his box and was like, wait a minute, I did not order all 4. Why is there all this stuff in here? No, I got more. So I ordered 3 notebooks, and there are 4 notebooks and a pack of pocket notebooks in here. So there's much more in here than I ordered. About $30 more worth of stuff that I ordered in here. Oh, box needs to go somewhere. And there's a cool sticker. Sorry. Yeah, so this is cool. I like this sticker. This is definitely going on my laptop because it's nerdy as hell. Yeah, so... Oh, these are the packaging on these is so nice. Like, look, sorry, I'm used to, like, I usually have my camera so it, like, reflects me, like, where I am in real life, not mirrored. But this is how you can read it. But yeah, look, so these are super nice. Oh, no. Emil, 34°C is hot even for those of us used to hot weather. And I don't think you're probably used to that in Poland. You're in Poland, right? So, yeah. No, don't blame you. You probably don't have air conditioning or anything either, do you? But yeah, so like, so I'm gonna open one of these. So, well, no, I'm also gonna show you. So if you looking at the packaging, they have so how it is, it's like a box outside and then the notebook inside. So it's like a box sleeve, like you'll get with like fancy DVDs. And they have this nice like about thing on the back. And it's really cool. They have their little, so this is the carbon one. They have a little like blurb about elemental notebooks, about the notebook, and then they give you basically a blurb about carbon the element, which is really cool. It's super nerdy. They do the same thing with the unobtainium one. Thank you. This is the thing that really geeked me out, was on the spine. They have the atomic spectra, the emission spectra. So this is what happens if you like shoot a laser at a pure tube of the element, it'll then emit light back off in that wavelength. And it's really cool. And then, so this is, you can see the inside of the notebooks. And they did this little foil stamping. Originally, they were going to have the names of the elements underneath the symbols. But even with nitrogen, they were pushing it in terms of legibility. And there's a lot longer elements out there. And so they decided to nix that for consistency across the notebooks. Because they do want to eventually have a whole line of just like all the elements available as notebooks. And so like Rutherfinium, if nitrogen's having problems fitting, Rutherfinium is definitely having problems fitting. Sorry, I was moving my camera over so my face wasn't like under the chat. But yeah, so I don't know if they sent these out extras for those of us on BYOB, because like I said, Jim also got extras from what he ordered. I will have to ask my other co-hosts if they got more than they ordered or not. Because I think some of us just ordered like everything, and some of us only ordered some. This makes it easy for me though to decide which ones I'm going to test in, because I purposely did not order hydrogen because it is gray, which I think is boring as fuck. So this is going to be my tester notebook. The rest of these are going to be actual notebooks. So let's break one of these bad boys open, and also the pocket notebooks, because of course. Where's my stabby thing? Here's my stabby thing. Let's angle this down a little more. No. Sorry, I keep messing with my camera. And then I'll be able to hold it up and it won't be nearly as shiny, so you can see a lot more of the elements, because I'll have gotten rid of the plastic. So yeah, significantly less shiny, because there's no plastic wrapping around it now, so you can kind of like see the quality of the printing on this. Just, it's very well done and well presented. The packaging, normally I'm not a packaging person. Normally I'm just like, give me the notebook, damn it. But this is nice. This is impressive. Like I said, I normally don't get two shits. It takes a lot for the packaging to make me go, wow. Yay! Yay, look at the emission spectra. It makes me so happy. And so the cover is a nice linen cover. I think this is similar to the Bear and Fig covers. Don't want to say. I have a Story Supply Exposition notebook, which is also a linen cover, but this is more like waxed linen, it feels like, versus this just feels a lot more like fabric. This is actually also a true A5 versus the Story Supply is more of an A5-ish, which is more common in the US. So, sorry, trying to hold up. So you can see the like subtle difference in sizing. It makes the difference when writing with it. It's more pleasant. It's like if you've like had linen clothing that's a little rougher. It like feels a little rougher, but like not in like an unpleasant way. Like it just feels sturdy. It's kind of hard to tell. I would say the Story Supply actually feels a lot rougher than these guys. And that actually makes sense when looking at the sorry, I'm staring at, I know enough about fabric to like know what I'm looking at when I look at the fabric covers. What I'm trying to determine is if this is knit or woven on the Elemental. It looks woven, but you can tell right away that the thread count or the fineness of the fabric they used on the Elemental is a lot finer than the fabric they used on the Story Supply, which makes sense. And the Story Supply is also a lot rougher, so there's inconsistent fabric. The fiber, the thread was spun a little bit more unevenly on the Story Supply than the Elemental. But like I said, the Story Supply is also treated with something. It feels like more like waxed canvasy style versus this just feels fabric-y. Oh, that's so opening it up, you see the bore model inside, and then there's a space in the shape of the periodic table, so you can like write your name and contact info and all that stuff. And from there, it's just pages. The dots are fairly dark. I'll say that right away. So here are the dots. I've got a dot pad around here somewhere. I don't know where the hell my dot pad is to show you in comparison. But here's the story supply, which has a much fainter dot pattern. You can't even tell on this screen, versus you can see the dots here. I do have a Lloydstrom over here. The pages are not numbered. They were not able to hit their printing minimums and to get numbered pages. That was addressed. So for... This is the Lloydstrom, which, like, this is basically full Lloydstrom, but so you can kind of see stuff through the back of the page. And you can still see the dots. So yeah, these are a lot more noticeable dots, which could be bad or good depending on what you like out of your dot grid. I personally like the firmware guidance. Like, I tend to prefer grid to dot grid because I do want that guidance more than having it disappear it back into the page. So I like this darker printing, but I could see how it would irritate some people. Now, moment of truth. I'm gonna write in it. I have seen reports. I have not used anything with dots this dark, so I can't really comment on that. I haven't used any Bear and Fig products other than their backpack, which I sent back in less than 24 hours. You can revisit that on BYOB if you want. That dumpster fire. But this is the moment of truth. I'm going to write in it because I've seen reports that the paper is not all that great in contrast to what they showed on their Kickstarter, but I don't know if people are just... What they showed on their Kickstarter was a lot more fine, extra fine pens, because that's what they seem to use. What the people who did this seem to use versus people might be using like super gushers and stuff. So, this is going to irritate me, but this irritates me on all books. So the first page is like glued a little bit more to like the cover part, so it's kind of sticks out a little bit. That irritates the hell out of me in like all notebooks, and it happens all the time. It's in the Hippo, it's in the story supply. I think Lloydstrom's one of the few that doesn't have it. But yeah, so I've got some pens. I actually don't have that much ink right now. Yes, don't worry about it. So, let's see. I'm going to awkwardly angle this down so you can see it. It's not going to be as good as my normal top-down views because that requires a little more finickiness. So this is going to be a little bit more angled. Oh, this is very pleasant. Giving you all motion sickness. Blah. I am a professional. Not really. Okay, cool. So, where's my little piece of blotting paper? My hand oils are atrocious. And so I like to put a little piece of blotting paper down before I write anything because my hand oils wreck like Rhodia Clairefontaine, like no tomorrow. They wreck pretty much anything. So that's not fair to any paper to have my hand oils on it first. So first I've got an Aurora Ypsilon with Pilot Oroshizuku Kujaku. And already, yeah, no, the reports were correct. This paper is questionable. Next, I've got my Pilot E95S with Robert Oster Lake of Fire, River of Fire, whichever is the greener one. I think it's River of Fire. Yeah, no, this is bad. This paper is kind of shit. This is not what they showed. Now I've got a mystery vintage pen, probably from the 80s. That was my grandpa's, and it has Private Reserve Shoreline Gold. Yeah, no, this is not good. This is not good at all. This is very disappointing. Oh, now this is a Lady Schaefer that has Waterman Tender Purple. Oh, Jesus. This is shit, guys. This is shit. I'm really sad now. Because this is not what they showed in their Kickstarter photos. I just somehow managed to flick wine all over my arm. I'm gonna go get a paper towel. I'm not quite sure how I managed to do that. And when I say flick, I mean like I flicked. Well, that's the thing, Emil, is that if you look at their Kickstarter, they explicitly show the paper qualities. And it's like they didn't feather, it had some shading, there was a little bit of sheen. Like they tested it. And then this is shit. So I don't know if they just got a really good run with their samples. Like it's an inconsistent printer. Or like they had to switch papers in order to meet minimums. Because there was a lot of demand for all the different colors. And there were points when they like reduced like milestones to get the different covers. So I don't know if they switched that up in order to get those different covers. I would have rather of them stuck to their original stretch goals and gotten the good paper. Let's test this with some pencils at least. To see if this is a pencil-friendly paper. So this is the latest Blackwing. It's the pen to pencil. Like, it's fine with that. Do I have any, like... Let me scrounge for gel pens and stuff. And see what I can find. Because I normally don't use those. Cool, that is what I was looking for. Okay, so now we've got... Well, it can also just be shit with pencil. So in terms of pens, I've got a Signo DX, a Pilot Juice, and then whatever the multi-pen is that come with Hobonichis. I think it's like a Uniball Jetstream or something. I mean, it's fine. It's almost a little too smooth for the ballpoint. Again, almost a little bit too smooth for the Pilot Juice. I would use a thicker, because the dots are so pronounced, I would use more than a 0.38 tip on this. And now it works fine with the Signo DX, but the Signo DX works with most things. Let me go get a retro so we can get a rollerball test. Okay, so we've got Retro 51. This is with the Schmidt refill, but the fine version versus the medium version that it comes with. I think that's like the P8126. Yeah, and it's fine with the rollerball. There's not a lot of feathering, but like with all the fountain pens, it's just terrible. Let's go bleed through. It's not hopeless with the bleed through. Like the bleed through is pretty standard for basically all paper except for like Rhodia. Like basically any paper that's not like Rhodia, Clairefontaine, Tomoe River, the bleed through is pretty standard. This is what I would expect to happen. What's really disappointing is it's not even just the let me do this. It's not even just like the feathering, but it kind of sucks the life out of the inks a little bit. Like they're not as vibrant as I would expect, as these inks should be. Like it's making them flatter. And that's not a function of the paper tone. Like the paper color, I have plenty of things as paper color where the ink pops just as brightly. But this is like, it's just flat. There's feathering and it's flat. And I don't know if this is because I think the people who made these are left-handed. And so they did try and make it so that way they wouldn't have smearing. Which I get. But like, it seems to be at a cost. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, it spreads quite a lot. This Lady Schaefer, as I was writing with that, I'm like, this pen is not this fat. It's not. Like, it spreads quite a lot. All the non-fountain pens, even the retro with the liquid ink, were about true to width on the rest of the papers. But this one, but all the fountain pens, it was just bleh. So this is disappointing. The notebooks, for everything else about them, is so well made, though. Like, you could give this to basically any science nerd off the street, and they would, like, shit themselves with joy about these. It's just the paper is super disappointing for fountain pen use. And I know this going in now. I do have inks that look fine on paper like this, because I've dealt with paper like this before, so I just need, now that I know, I just know. But this is not what they had said was going to be the case. So I'm going to put this back up, and then I'm going to see if I can throw up the Kickstarter page to show you the what they said everything was going to be like. Yeah, sad trombone is putting it mildly. Yeah, so let's switch over here. Sorry, I'm trying to like... So where is the thing? Come on, you can scroll. So yeah. This is just like... I don't know if like I missed something or like everyone missed something. 'Cause like you can see shading there. And like a little bit of sheen, and there's like no feathering. That's not the same paper. There's no way that's the same paper. And it looks vibrant. Oh shit, what just happened here? And look, there's like sheen. And you don't see any feathering on it at all. This is not the same paper. I don't know what the inks are. No. An Organic Studio Anniversary Collection with TWSBI Eco Tea Medium. That's... I haven't used the Organic Studio inks. But like, if this is a medium, like TWSBI, like there's no way this is the same paper. I'm guessing because they lowered the amounts they needed for, like the dollar amounts they needed for each of the covers, they must have switched paper. I don't know, they could just have a light touch. It's entirely possible. I've seen that happen where like a pen I use looks a lot fatter than a pen another person uses. Or the same pen with another person, just because I tend to generate broader strokes, like broader line widths. So I could see if you have a light touch that might be what you get with a medium. It could also be, I've experienced TWSBIs being really dry. And where they actually where they need a really absorbent paper to even get flowing. So maybe they just had a shitty TWSBI, which caused them to think the paper was better than it was. Yeah. There's a conspiracy happening here. Well, not a conspiracy, but like something happened with the paper. I don't know if it was their end consciously. They might have gotten really good, like it might be the paper mill they have is a really, like the inconsistent. And so they had a really good sample sent out. And like now what they needed for the orders was was completely different. Because I have heard of that happening where it's just like the paper, like unless you like really know what you're doing with the paper, like Daryl does, it can be a headache to get consistency between batches. And for a Kickstarter project, yeah. Well, but then the sheen in the drops, but then there wasn't feathering in the drops, and it was Organic Studio, so Organic Studio is a sheen monster regardless. I don't know. This is very disappointing. I mean, I'll probably use them still, because now at least I know what I'm dealing with. But yeah, that's very sad, because the rest of the notebook is aces. Now I just got this pile of pens that I never use, because I like almost never use my roller balls or gels or whatever. I like have them around just in case. I do still want to open the let's switch back. I do still want to open the Unobtainium and see what those look like. Where's my I keep like misplacing my stabby thing, which is not being helped by the fact that I keep consuming alcohol. Oh, it's over here. Losing things on your desk when you've had too much alcohol. Because I do want to look at what these little pocket notebooks look like. Because with a pocket notebook, the fact that it would absorb paper that quickly doesn't bother me as much because it's a pocket notebook. So I tend to want those to be more quick drying and everything. And like, look, the packaging is so nice. All the details of these notebooks are so nice, except the paper, apparently. God damn it! Oh, these are very pretty. So the paper, or the cover, is almost like a leatherette rather than your traditional cardstock. It's kind of like what the Hippo Noto covers are, but much thinner. So those are going to be super sturdy. They've got the Unobtainium, like metallic stamping. They've got green stitching on the ends. Honestly, if they had made just these pocket notebooks with that dry time, they would have been set. Like, this I think is a good product. That dry time is something you more want. And honestly, the rest of it's great. It's just like, yeah, so like, that sort of paper performance is more what I would expect from a pocket notebook because of what you need from a pocket notebook, not necessarily your A5 journal size. Womp womp. But the pocket notebooks are nice. Like, these are killer. And they're fairly fat for pocket notebooks, which could be good or bad depending on how you use pocket notebooks. But they're definitely going to be pretty sturdy. Assembled in China. Okay, that's what I needed to tell Daryl, like, this is where they're assembled. Yeah, these are just really cool. Yep. So, I need to pee because wine, so I'm gonna be right back. Okay. Okie dokie, I'm back. I also got myself an ice cream sandwich. Because why not? I'm gonna put everything back in the box until I figure out where I want to store it. Because otherwise it's just taking up a giant amount of space on my desk, which I do not want. I've never heard of those SciAc notebooks. There's a lot of notebooks I haven't heard of because I have found what I want, what I like. I'm kind of stuck with that. But, yep, big womp womp on the elemental notebooks. Much sadness was had. On the other hand, much sadness was not had in terms of ink. This is the newest 1670 Cornaline d'Egypte. And I got it for my birthday yesterday, and my mom actually went down to the pen shop. The little pen, well, more like little section of a furniture shop where the owner of the furniture shop is friends with a guy that wanted to sell pen stuff, and she let him set up stuff in the corner of her shop. But they were the only ones that had this in stock, like around really for like 2 weeks before the online shops got it. So she got it there. But I want to swatch it. So, you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna, because from this point forward, I'm probably gonna just do all top-down stuff because I also want to do ink reviews. So let me throw up the BRB and set up the set up the rest of this like setup because it's a little finicky. Okie dokie there. Got it all nicely set up here. Raoul's familiar with this setup here. Also got my ice cream sandwich, which is melting on me. Gotta eat that. But this is the important bit. Yeah, Emil, I think you probably heard about him on BYOB because we had him on the shop, or on the show. And it was on the show that I discovered that his little shop within a shop was like 10 minutes down the road from where I grew up. And I was like, wait, what the hell? Because that part of New Jersey is not very densely populated. Not a lot of people are from there. And so because I knew it was there, I was like, hey, Mom, go buy the thing. And she was like, sure. Sorry, I'm eating the ice cream sandwich before it melts. Very important. I also do need to pour myself more wine. We can have that in view, because why not? We don't have large boxes of things going on now. Very important background. No, that's because it was on BYOB. So I'm going to continue opening this. So, very pretty. I need my stabby thing again. There we are. Just keep stabbing things while having imbibed lots of stuff, like alcohol. It's usually not a good move. Okay, cool. This is the first one that I've had. I do have 2 bottles of the Giarbon sparkle inks, but they're the 1670 version, so they have the much narrower cap. Let me grab here's my bottle of Rouge Hematite so you can see the difference in the cap diameter. Like, that's a big difference. It doesn't make a huge difference for me in terms of filling because I don't have a lot of fat pens. I don't really like fat pens, but you can also navigate those narrow openings pretty easily due to science training. But I could see how that would make a pretty big difference for you. Also, it looks like the bottles, was it 1798 bottles are a little bit bigger. It looks like they've got thicker glass walls. It's a little bit higher. Like, this bottle feels more substantial than this bottle. Just in like every way. The wax is thicker, the little cord is thicker, the bottle's bigger. But they're equally, I'm actually surprised the silver's falling out of solution much easier than the Rouge Hematite. The Rouge Hematite's also been sitting around a while. Versus this one's gotten like shipped in the mail and stuff. Look at all the like liquid metal swirly goodness. Oh, my swatching stuff's on the other side of the table. I gotta go around. I had to go all the way around the desk and go get it. I couldn't like reach over. But yeah, this is my swatching paintbrush and swatching dip pen. So I keep it consistent across all my swatches so I can compare them to each other. And I find it hard to write when the swatch is like when the card is in the book. So like to take it out, give this a good shake. Thanks, I found it at an estate sale for like 50 cents. Along with some vintage pencils. Making sure this gets good and soaked. Oh, that's a pretty orange. That's super pretty. Yeah, no, this estate sale guy knew nothing about stationery, and that was very obvious because those pencils, I think I got the thing of pencils in like a bottle stopper for $4, and each of those pencils individually is worth like $2-3, and I got like a dozen of them. So I'm gonna reshake this just to make sure I have a good sample for the writing, but it should be good. That's super pretty. Normally I would prefer like gold sparkle. I would say it's not really a brick red orange. It reminds me more of... What does it remind? Because it reminds me of something, but I'm struggling to think what it reminds me of exactly. It's much more of like an actual pumpkin orange. It's a little washed out in my monitor, but like actual pumpkins are not as bright orange as people say. Caramel, yes. It may be a little orangier than caramel, but very close to a caramel. This is very pretty. And normally I would go for, like, you would think a gold would go better in the orange than the silver. But for some reason, the silver really works with this. Like, in a way I don't expect. Like, it gives it, like, the right sparkle. Like, the gold... Yeah, Diamond Pumpkin's neon orange. That's not what that we want there. But, like, it's like the gold would just make it, like, glow, like, almost like a sun, versus this makes it a little more subtle and subdued, and a little more sophisticated, and I think more usable, because the gold would make it more eye-searing, versus the silver tamps it down a little bit. This is very pretty. You can see the silver shimmer a bit. Like, damn. And it's almost like, because you have the golden orange tones in it, in writing, that mixes with the silver such that the silver coming through the gold orange actually looks more gold, or actually looks more gold. Yeah, like silver, it's more like if you mix... One of the methods that you use in like watercolors to like darken your colors for shading is to, like, if I were to have an orange and I wanted a slightly darker shade of that same orange for like a more shadowed area, is I would mix that orange with a very tiny bit of blue, which is very opposite of it on the color wheel, which basically infuses it with a little bit of brown and makes it like kind of correctly darker. And that's what this reminds me of. Like, that's what the silver, I think, is doing more for it here, versus the gold would just like I said, make it like luminous, like make it glow, versus this more makes it more readable in an actual situation, if that makes sense. Actually, I want to bring out, because I do have swatches of the two diamines that are probably most similar here, and I can put them next to you, and both of those have gold sparkle in them versus the orange sparkle. So there's Diamine Autumn, or Caramel Sparkle, and then Inferno Orange. This is kind of between them. So the lighting is kind of taking away some of the red tones in here. But Caramel Sparkle has the gold shimmer, and it definitely glows more. And the Inferno Orange also has gold sparkle, and it's definitely more like, I am a glowing, like, this ink is on fire, but not actually on fire. I have an ink with blue sparkle in it. Pen BBS 235. That's a brown ink with blue sparkle. Yeah, and it's, like, they're not the same base tone, but they're in the same family, versus, like, the gold is having the same effect on both of them. It's making it glow more, versus The silver is giving it shimmer without making it like seem like it's on fire a little bit. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm looking through to see if I have similar. This is probably the most similar color I have, comparing it in real life, is Noodler's Golden Aspen. And looking at the base colors in my eye, like in real life, the base colors are very similar, but on the screen, you can almost see like the silver subduing effect, versus it's much more, the Noodler's doesn't have the sparkle, so it's coming off much brighter. That's the best I can like give you. But like I really like, this is a really nice, like sophisticated, classy color. Like, even though this is in no way like a business ink, like it's like clearly like a orange ink with sparkle in it, it somehow seems like you could pull it off as like a business, like in an office environment. Like, it would be acceptable for some reason. It's very weird. But yeah, let me get that swab of the Pen BBS out. It's in here somewhere. Where is it? I have this roughly organized by Rainbow Order. There it is. Pen BBS 235. That has the blue shimmer. And it's a like deep, rich brown. That's hilarious. Cause it does seem like the base color would be appropriate. It's like, it's a gray. That's business appropriate, right? It's just got sparkles in it. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, no, this one's also pretty. It's like people are say like, oh yeah, sparkle is like jump the shark. It's not a trend. I'm like, sparkle inks are. I still like sparkle inks. I just never subscribe to buying every single one of them. I just buy the ones that I know would actually use. So what have I got full bottles of? Now I got full bottles of mainly Herbin. I've got a full bottle of this, Emerald of Chivor, and Rouge Hematite. And I'm good. Like, I do need to get a bottle of Purple Pizzazz, the diamine one, because I love that one. But, like, I never felt the need for all the colors. I do have samples of most of the diamine ones, but that, like, whetted my appetite. But yeah, no, this is pretty. So now I'm conflicted. I have my list of inks I want to review, but I kind of want to knock one of them back. Yeah, no, Emerald Chivor is a fucking knockout. It's amazing. Like Rouge Hematite's also amazing because it sheens so much, it like changes the base color, but Emerald Chivor is just a stunner. Like, for that one, the hype was appropriate. For other ones, like Stormy Gray, hype was like, didn't really, I think, live up to the hype. Emerald Chivor was just like, very good ink. And it flows really well, and it's got that sheen and the sparkle, and it's just it's so pretty. But anyway, what I think I'm going to do in terms of ink reviews, I'm like flailing around for stuff on my desk because the wine is very much starting to hit me, is bump back KWZ Brown Pink, because I just did basically like 4 purples like that in a row, and I'm a little tired of them. So I'm going to do the so then we'll do ink reviews. And since I have this lovely ink out here, I will do it. Yes. Emerald Javor is always like the best like when you have someone being like, well, why don't you just use a gel pen? It's like, well, can a gel pen do this? And it's like, yep, exactly. Yeah. So wine is being like, you can't find anything. Finding things is for wimps. Even though you're at a desk and all your things are there. So here are my review pens. I've got, because I don't really have a huge variety of nib sizes, because I know what I like. I've got it set up so I'll do basically a wet, dry, and sort of regular writer instead. And then which ones I picked is also influenced by which ones are easier to clean. Because duh. I love my Tucky, but my Tucky is a vac filler, which is a pain in the ass to clean. So I'm not going to use that for reviews. We might also only get through a couple reviews because I'm like struggling to like put the pens together. I haven't had that much wine, I don't think, but I also took the bottle to the desk with me. So who knows how much I've actually drunken. Mm-hmm. That took me way too long to figure out which one was the cap for the Custom Heritage 92. There we are. That took more coordination than it should have to fill those pens. Yes, I have drunk alcohol today. Oh, I need to get up my my article that I'm going to copy. So what I do when I do these ink reviews is these ink reviews are more a way for me to actually use my pens and paper that are just sitting around, because when I graduated from Yield grad school, I all of a sudden was not using nearly as my paper and pens nearly as much. So this is a vehicle to use them. And I like looking at reviews that have long form writing in them. And so I was like, okay, I'll copy a thing. Then I'm like, what do I copy? So I'm copying articles from my local newspaper because I do subscribe to that. And this is a way for me to actually read my local newspaper, because I keep forgetting to actually read it even though I pay for it. And now it's got to load. Aqua the lovebird just woke up from her nap and got out of her box. I need to go attend to her. Internet. Say hi to the internets. Ow. No. Boop. Boop. Do you want scritches? Bye, Rowell. Aqua wants scritches. I was gonna write with the ink, but this is clearly much more important. Yes. Oh. Who wanted Snuggles? Who wanted Snuggles? Yeah, that's a Waterman Hemisphere. It's the Ombre et Lumière from 2015. I like it very much. It's clearly a very important part of the stream right here is Aqua getting Snuggles. This is why I was late to get this started, because Aqua insisted on Snuggles before she took a nap. Now she wants more Snuggles. Oh, what is it, Akiwa? I know you're having a very good time with scritches. It actually took me a while to break in my Waterman Hemisphere. There was a while where I thought maybe I didn't like it, but I don't know, after some point it flipped, and I love it now. But there was a point where I was considering selling it, but I waited on selling it because I knew it was limited edition, the finish, so I was like, oh, I'll wait until they no longer sell it, because then I'll be able to get a higher price for it. I'm glad I did, because now I didn't sell it, and I love it. Oh, I know you want more scritches. Sorry, this has turned into the Aqua Gets Scritches feed. It's very important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the section bothered me because I did grab it a little harder, but I think it was just like, I don't know if there's some, like, I was using the wrong inks in it or whatever. Like, I was using inks that were too dry for it or something. What, Akiwa? Because I just wasn't feeling it, but then I switched up what inks I was using it in, and now I love it. Very comfy birdies. What? Yeah, someone's very comfy, aren't you, Aqua? Mm-hmm. No, Aqua's just a very happy small birdie who's getting lots of snuggles. What? Are you done? Oh, you want more scritches. I need to use this hand, Aqua. You could see from the feathers down there that she's molting, just me like giving her those light scratches just cause them to fall out, which is why she's very itchy and likes the scratches, because molting is a very itchy process. Let's go in your cage so you can eat some foods. Okay. Actual ink review now. Okay. Actually, I also do want to check in on what the DC Pen Show is doing. Not exciting. Very boring updates. Non-updates. They do. Aqua will try to clean me by chewing up my fingers and also my nose and my eyelids and my ears. She is trying to clean me and preen me. But because I am a human, it's like only marginally effective. So yeah, sometimes it's a little irritating because it's like, do you need to stand on my nose and clean my eyelid? Is that really necessary? And according to her, it is. Okay. Oh, right, I forgot I had these from the other day. And now Aqua's going to be irritated with me because I'm not paying attention to her. Which is fair. So the first one is my dry writer, which is a Parker 45. So we'll see. I don't think I've ever put sparkle inks in this, so we'll see how it behaves. This is an adventure for all of us. So it's definitely struggling a bit with the sparkle ink, but that's almost to be expected. Yeah, so this is struggling a bit with the ink. It feels a bit dry, but I almost don't know if this is because it is an orange, so it's a lighter ink, and I know with lighter inks and fine pens, I do tend to want to press a little hard to make it more saturated all of a sudden. So that could just be a function of it being a dry writer rather than it actually being like a dry pen or clogging the pen. Not quite sure. Either way, I wouldn't necessarily ink up this ink in this particular pen, but that just could be because it's just generally a bad match and I don't like necessarily how it looks on the page, not due to performance. I love 45s. I have 2 of them. Where's the other one I have? The other one I have is orange. But I do like to, for consistency's sake, use the same pen for reviews. So this is my review one, and this is my other fun one. Yeah, I like the semi-hooded nature of this. You never know, because so these other 2 pens that I have, so the Hemisphere and the Custom Heritage 92, I know work both really well with sparkle inks. Like, there was a while there where this Waterman was like the pen I used to test sparkle inks. So yeah, this ink feels fine in this pen. It's flowing really nicely. Yeah, this, like, the ink doesn't necessarily look that much darker in this with a more regular flow versus a drier flow, but it just feels so much better. It's funny though, because it doesn't necessarily have the depth that you see in the swab, which is why writing samples are important. And this is a demo, so you can see it all swirly. Yeah, you can even see from this, it'll come through I think better on the scans, but just how much darker it gets from like dry to wet flow. Like, it would be borderline not really acceptable, hard to read in either the dry or the regular writer, but once you get to a wet writer, it becomes, there's enough ink on the page that you can really read it, and a lot more of the character that you see in the swab is coming out. Okay. You can even see in this one with the dry pen, it struggled a little bit at a point and then it like picked back up. So I think, yeah, the feed's having sparkle issues. Hey, Christine. I'm still going. What we're doing now is I am testing out the new Girbon ink, the orangey sparkle one. I got a whole bottle for my birthday. And it is very pretty. I'm very happy I have a whole bottle. Yeah, no, it's a more... It's a much... It's more of like the orange of an actual pumpkin, or like pumpkin pie orange. Like, it's more subdued. It's not neon in your face orange, and the silver actually works really well with it. Like, yeah, so this is the swab, and it's actually, you can see a lot more of the character in the swab than in the writing samples, but especially the wet ink shows off a lot more of the brown characteristics. I mean, this is my fourth bottle of a sparkle ink, but I don't go for every one. Like, I have the Rouge Hematite, I have the Emerald of Chivor, and I have a Pen BBS, and now I have this one. I have a lot of samples of sparkle inks, but, like, yeah, sometimes it takes you a while to get to samples. That's why I'm doing these ink reviews, because I have all these samples that I built up, especially from last year at the Secret Santa for the Pen Addict Slack. I got so many samples, and I haven't gotten to so many of them. Like, I want to use this. But yeah, this is on Kikuya, which is an off-white-ish paper. And yeah, I would say you would want a wet writer to make this a little more legible. But you can do just fine in like a regular writer, a dry writer. I'm actually got a lot of silver particles in this when I look at this, but the silver particles in the dry writer have the effect of almost like washing it out a little bit versus like adding depth to it like it does in the wetter samples. Yeah, I messed up. That is what the opposite side is for. I have like a standard format and I just blanked on. Too much wine. Yeah, no, I find with sparkle inks, it really, it's really variable from pen to pen how they behave. You have to, know which of your pens work well with sparkle inks. Like, this one, this is the first time I've stuck a sparkle ink in it. So I wasn't sure how it would behave versus my other two are sparkle ink champs, so I wasn't worried about them. Yeah, no, it really just, it depends on the pen and the feed and all that fun stuff. It's just, like, like, I had a TWSBI Mini stub nib that hated sparkle inks. So it doesn't really have anything to do with necessarily the nib size. It's like overall all the things in the pen, whether it likes sparkle inks or not. Now, once it gets out the other side, the nib is going to influence, how much of the sparkle ink you see, maybe. But like you can even see here, these are all roughly the same size nib, like in terms of width, but it's a dramatic difference just based on the flow. Shimmertastics I found are the least well behaved, are like the worst behaved of the sparkle inks. They have probably the driest base ink, and then their sparkle particles don't necessarily behave. I've found Pen BBS and the Girbon to work pretty equally well. I haven't used the Pen BBS in as many pens as the Girbon though, so I would need to expand my sample size a bit before making a final judgment. But yeah, overall, I was a little worried about asking for straight up a whole bottle of this for my birthday instead of doing my normal sample first, but I saw Brad mess with his bottle on a stream, and it looked really good, a lot better than I expected, and then I was like, you know what, sure, I'll go for it, and now I'm really happy I have it. I don't really need more orange inks, but this actually is an orange ink that fills the niche that I don't really have filled. So I'm good with it. And the silver, like I said, adds a certain character to it that makes it slightly more professional than you would expect an orange sparkle ink to be. So random. Okay, so now I gotta empty out. Too much wine. Like, look at the swirly in the converter. It's been pretty dead. Like, I think we're to the after show hours bits a little, but like people haven't been posting as much. That's actually one of the things I was going to do after this ink sample is we're going to go on another round reviewing what's going on at the DC pen show. So let's do that now, and then I'll go clean pens. So we were looking at the Elemental notebooks earlier. The paper is a big which doesn't match at all what they showed on the Kickstarter. Very sad. The biggest thing... people are going nuts over those new Kara's pens that they showed in Discord the other day. Brian Goulet showed up at the DC Pen Crew meetup and is just like stuck in a spot. Seems like people are probably, because the show ends at 5, so they're probably starting to go out for like dinner and stuff. Let's see. I haven't even logged into Instagram. No, I need to log into Instagram. While I log in, I'm gonna turn this off a little bit so you cannot see me type my password. The Goulets just seem to do their own thing. And not realize that there's other shit going on, and so it ends up that there's overlap. That happened in Atlanta too. They were like, let's have a meetup. Okay. That's try not. Okay, that looks fun. Some DC pen show. Let's click yield hashtag, see what we got here. What is this? They're just like hunched over. Let's see, pens. Ooh, what is this video? I don't know what pen she's using, but that looks like some nice calligraphy. Nice. People hanging around at a bar. As expected. Hey, someone's sporting a BYOB shirt. With the goulets. Actually, I think, oh, that's Rich Sticks. Yeah, I made a hat, a TPA hat for him. Oh, these are the Esterbrook prototypes that we were looking at earlier. So, I don't know if you guys saw this in Slack or not, but so, remember how Kenro bought Esterbrook? So this is what they've been doing with it. They're making a snap cap, like, turned version that fits vintage Esterbrook nibs in addition to, like, Yovo nibs. And so they're apparently going to be running about 200, and they're going to be cartridge converter. So it's going to be fairly standard in the, like, price range of, you know, like your custom pens that all take Yovo holders, but it's back compatible with those vintage Esterbrook nibs, which is huge. So it's got a lot more potential than whatever Fester Crook was doing. So good job, Kenro. Canalea. What is this? Adjustable pen wrapped. Yeah, Jesse's very interested. What was going on? Okay, so just general pen parts. What's this? Ooh! Oh god, that's mesmerizing. Ah! Oh, they're nice. Brad, please sign for your stuff. We brought so much stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. It's a Tayante. Everyone's sporting their Don't Drink the Ink shirts. I feel like I know who this person is. What is this ridiculous? Is this pen encrusted in diamonds? Why? Just what? God, just pen sloth. Is this the line to get in this morning? Yep. Tiny cupcake? Is that a Sandra cupcake? Maybe? Who knows? Ralph fangirling. Yeah, Pen Sloth, I think he does author, but he also does a lot of illustrations. He's mainly an artist. This is so amusing. Okay, now that we're back to where we were last night, now let's see if we can go to Pensloth's page and give you some examples of... Yeah, Pensloth does, like, illustrating and stuff like that. And he's married to an author, so I don't know if they partner or not. But yeah, he does a lot of illustration. Oh, there were some photos earlier in Slack of... that were pretty darn funny. Of Ralph. Because Ralph. Ralph's learning from Masayama face. I just can't. Ralph just makes great faces. He's just like, what is happening? I cannot. He's like trying to record so we could watch it later, but he's just like, oh my god. Yeah, it looks like people in DC are heading out for dinner. And so there will be bar shenanigans probably posted later, but for now, things are pretty quiet. I wouldn't be surprised if there's just like there wasn't a lot of posting today because of just clogged cell traffic. Ooh, this is one of Ralph's nibs. Huh. Oh, this is pretty... Oh. Now I want that Cherry Blossom demo by Woodshed. Oh. I'm gonna have to steal that from Anna somehow. Like, go to France and steal this setup from Anna, because it looks amazing. Like that. Anything else I missed? I'm just amused by this picture. Just incredibly. Ooh, what are these? Koeko Art Sports. I'm almost looking at this as like a preview for some of the stuff in SF, because there will be stuff in SF. Oh, there were more pictures here. Oh, so many people. Ooh, what's that one? Oh, that's a pretty prototype. Who was having all these samples out? Ink farts. Of course there's someone with the name Ink Farts. I wonder if they're just out to sample? Or like out to like test, or you can sample them, or what? Huh. Not sure. It's the Canaleas. Yep. Okay. That's pretty much all what's going on with the pen show right now. I need to go clean out these pens. And probably eat something, because it's approaching on 6. I might be back later, but I definitely need to eat something, because I have had a lot of wine. Like, when I was filling these pens earlier, it took way more concentration and hand-eye coordination than it should have. So I'm just going to leave it there. So yeah, I might come back later, I might play some Pokemon or something. But yeah, Peanut Gallery ahoy. Glad I could provide some entertainment for those of us who are not at the DC Pen Show. I will see you guys later. Bye!